to the Big Shot video that I did earlier. At the same time as ordering this, almost like the next day, it occurred to me that I would only get the one Bigz die with this, and part of the reason for me getting this was the ability to use those Bigz dies. So I ordered a couple of others, and I sat and I thought about the kind of things that I haven't got already and that would be useful to me in the Bigz format, so they could cut through more solid things or more layers of fabric, for example. And I came up with a couple of Tim Holtz, actually, which is surprising because I don't think I own anything Tim Holtz up until this point. So I thought that I would show you what I got, and then maybe we could run them through and see how they cut out. So these were the two that I planned on getting, and then I saw two other things which I added into my basket. And the first one is this, it's called Tiny Tabs and Tags, and it's the Alterations Collection. And I thought that a tag would be really handy to be able to cut in the thicker materials. I didn't have just a simple tag in a die. I had sort of more fancy tops, and I quite fancied this, and I really like these little tags as well. And this kind of, well, I suppose it is the tab actually. These are the two tabs. I don't know if you can see, there we go, I think you can just catch it there in the light. So it's not tiny, but it's not huge, so it's a nice size. And then you've got the little circles that go on here, those little circles there, two of those on there as well. And again, I'm just trying to catch it in the light for you. There we go. And there's your tag, and then you've got a little sort of tag, and then your tabs, and then more little tags as well, little tiny baby ones. So very cute die, really nice die. I think that's going to work out exactly what I need. So we're going to cut something out on that in a moment, see how that comes out. Now the other thing I thought would be really fun to do is like have a swirl that you could then put on, perhaps again slightly heavier material that you could then glitter up, glue, and put paper on, like old-fashioned French decoupage, which is like a flat decoupage, but you're still building layers, but you're building it in a flat way. And so I saw this again, it was a Tim Holtz, and these gorgeous swirls, and I thought they would be so nice to have on cards and mini album. There we go, you can see, so again, a reasonable size. So that would make a nice feature on the card, perhaps coming behind an element instead of your pearls. And again, you could even use this as like a mask for putting pearls and things on. So you could put this down and then put pearls on each of it, just to use it as a guide to where to put them. And then you've got the smaller one there. So really pleased with that. Then when I was looking, I came across this little die. Well, this is not little, it's still a Bigz die, but it's called On the Edge, so it's kind of like half the size width-wise, but it's still the same depth. And again, another Tim Holtz, and this was called Torn Notebook. Sorry, I just realised I don't think I told you what this one was called. This one was Elegant Flourishes. So going back to this one, Torn Notebook, and you get like the notebook edge, and then you get like a rough page edge. And the way that it does it is it's one piece. Okay, let's try and see. There we go. It's one piece, so you get that side and then that side. So you could put your piece up to the middle here, your piece of paper, and go that way, or vice versa, to create your edges. I mean, you could obviously put it across the whole lot and create a sort of a strip, but I think that would look, depending on what you're going for, because you could have, but I think the idea is to go across the middle. And if I was doing that, I would definitely stick that down so it doesn't move when you're cutting. I don't have like the on the edge plates, but I really don't think that's necessary, to be honest. I think we could probably manage fine with the ones we've got. Then the last thing that I got was this, again, Tim Holtz, Texture Fades, Embossing Folders. And this one, I'm just trying to see, it's a 2-pack, and it's called Raise and Retro Circles. So obviously this one's your raise, and this one's your Retro Circles. This is the one I really liked. I've seen this on a couple of projects, actually on Cricut projects, and I really, really liked it, and I didn't know what it was, which die, I always call them dies, which embossing folder it was. So when I saw that, I was like, right, having that. So I think this will be fun. And obviously I have got lots of embossing folders, but as I say, this one I've been after for a while, so we pop that in. Okay, so now I thought we could just have a little play and see how these come out. So the first thing I've got is some of my coordinations cardstock. I thought I may as well keep using these scraps that came. So I thought that we would do our embossing, and I thought that we could use our gorgeous arrays, and I thought that on the yellow would be perfect. So just taking our embossing folder, writing side up is the side that will give you the embossed side, how it's meant to be. Pop that in. Like so. Then we need to get my plate. So we need to look on here which one's embossing, and I think if I remember right it was this third, so not tab 1, not tab 2, but the last one. So then we're going to pop that through. I'm just going to have to move this very slightly because I've got so much stuff in the way. And then we pop that down like that. Put my matte plate down, then my embossing folder, then another plate. Pull those back a little bit, and then there we go, pop that through. Now I'm going to have to go backwards because I haven't got room to go all the way through. So you don't normally have to go through twice, it's just because I've got stuff all this end and I'm going to knock it all on the floor. Okay, so then just pop this back down and grab this, and wow, isn't that absolutely stunningly gorgeous? Let's take our little, let's move this out the way a minute while I do this. Let's take my little sanding paper here and just looking everything on the floor. It's such a tiny piece, and I've managed to rip it, so it's not helpful. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? Doesn't that come up nice? And you could actually do it on this side as well. It would come up really good because it works both ways. Look, because it's come up both sides. So it depends on, like this one shows a lot of the dots, which is quite nice when you take the sander to it. I tell you what, I'm fed up with that. This one's pretty dull. Let's see if it works. Get my own sanding block. There we go. Much easier. So that's one side. So you kind of get the rays and the dots, and then this side is kind of the other way. So I actually think this is probably the right side. I don't know. Where's it gone? Let's have a look. No, it isn't. This is actually the correct side, but I have to say I think I prefer the wrong side. Okay, so that's that one. Now I'm not going to cut that one up with the die because I think that looks just so nice as it is, so I'm going to leave that one. But my other one, the little cogs, or whatever they're called, retro circles, I shall cut, emboss, and then I shall use that to cut out as well. So let's just get this. And this, and pop our paper through, in rather, and then through and back again. Now the table's what's wobbling, not my machine. So the machine is actually stuck fast. Okay, and there is our retro circles. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? And I would imagine that it's not difficult to do the edges as well, but I'm going to put this down and this down, and then I'm going to get my block, which is, I need to get a new sanding block myself here, but let's just, now I don't normally do this, but since I've got the coordinations I thought it would be fun. You can see it's a bit blunt because it's taking a bit of time to do, but I don't know if you can see very well because it's in the light, but hopefully you can catch that. So that's it plain on the reverse side, and there it is with the sanded back. So I'm going to use that piece to cut something out. So let's put this down, and I think it would be fun to do that on my tags. So I'm going to pop that over the top. So let's just see which way round. I want it on the main tag, so I'm going to pop that mostly over the main tag, like so, because some of that's going to be on the plane, but that'll be okay. Like that. And then we need the mat, the die, and then, oh, not the other die, that won't work, and then the other mat, and then I'll just pop that through like that and turn the handle. I'm just going to hold that because it's a bit, there we go. Now the other thing I saw when I was watching one of the Big Shot videos, Sizzix videos, was that if they had something, say like this, where you might want these circles in a different colour, they layered a couple of pieces of card in at the same time, which was quite cool. So you didn't have to put it through 50 times, you could do it all in the one go. Whoops. So let's pull these out. And actually they pretty much went through on the, let's just put this down here. Just put this over a tiny bit and put it down on there. So we've got the gorgeous tag, look, and then you'd have these pieces which we could do in a different colour, but they go either side of our little tag. And we've got our little baby tags. And they're really cute. And then we've got our little tabs. So basically all you do is you're going to fold that over, just making sure it's lined up, and that creates a little tab top. Now obviously I could score this and make it a little bit neater, but you get the idea. It creates our little tab top. Not really, I assume you can put something inside that bit. And as I say, then we've got our little circles for our thing, and then we've got another little tab. So that could go on top of a page. More, another little. Okay, so that's those ones, and I think they look gorgeous. I'm really pleased with those. And as I say, I'd probably be tempted to try putting that a little piece over those two to make it a different colour and put it through all in one go. But this will go in my box of die cuts that are all spare so that I can use those later. Okay, so now let's try our little swirls. So we're going to put our plate down. I need a piece of paper. Come on, where's it gone? Oh, put them under here. So let's get a nice, oh, dropping everything on the floor. Let's have this nice lilac piece. On there, get our other mat, that on top, and then just whiz that through. Like so, nice and easy. Take that off. Now, because it's a swirl, it's just got to be careful when you unhook it from the background that it's cut from, because it's swirled and it catches in, as you can see. There we go. So that's our first piece. Isn't that pretty? And then our next piece. Oops. So you can see what I was saying, that on a card that would look so cute, and you could then glitter that all up and just make it look nice. But also, look, you've got this, and you could cut that up and use that as a sort of stencil or something, which is really nice. So that's so pretty. I'm pleased with that. Put those down there, and then lastly, I've got my torn notebook one. And I'm going to do one side there, and then I'll do the other side on the other end. So I'm going to match it up like that. Now you may want to tape it if you're trying to be really precise, but because we're just messing about, I'm not going to worry too much. Let's put that in there, pop that down, like so. Put our other mat on top. So this time I'm cutting downwards, just because I think it's easier to keep the paper in place. Hopefully that works anyway. Okay, so then let's lift that off. Yes, that's worked fine, except for the fact that it doesn't go to the edge. So let's just rip that edge. There we go, and then pull that off. And look at that, doesn't that look so cool? And it would easily, you could easily go this way. So long as your paper wasn't wider than this bed, then you could just keep going and going and going on as much length as you want on that. So that looks really nice, I really like that. And then I'm just going to do the other side, which is your kind of torn paper edge. So let's pop. So all I'm doing, I'll do it this side this time, is I'm putting my matte plate down, I'm putting my piece of paper over the side I want, turning it over and popping it down like that so it stays in position. I think if I put the paper the other side, the die up that way, then it would rock and possibly come off the die. So I just think that's easier. And then just pop it up to the point where it catches in the machine, and then turn your handle and hope that it all comes through fine, which it does, but it's obviously because it's slightly wider, so I'm just going to rip those edges. Normally you'd probably do something a bit nicer than that, and that's your torn edge. So again, with this coordinations, you could easily just along this edge and make it look like that. Very cute ripped edges, and the same on here. You could just add a bit, if you see, look how effective does that look. It kind of gives it a more vintage feel. So that's our two edges. So that's the dies that I got. Oh, by the way, this is your scrap look, so that would be quite cute for something. I mean, you could almost roll that, couldn't you, for a flower? Let's have a look. I'm just gonna see. Then pretend that's glued, and then it's kind of cute, isn't it? Put a little bead in the middle. I think you can make that look really nice. Okay, anyway, that's the dies that I've bought, the additional ones. So I hope you enjoyed having a look at these. I mean, this was literally the first time I put these through. I hadn't even opened them. They literally arrived this morning. And I have to say I'm really, really pleased with how they've come out. and I hope you like them too. They're, you know, they're even better than what I hoped they'd be. So I hope you've enjoyed having a look at them with me, and I'll see you all again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.